Hi everyone, it's Emma from Misfit Gardening and Ginger the Rhode Island Red. Today's video is about the 10 Reasons Why I Homestead tag. I was tagged by Ryan from A Little Dirt Never Hurts, so stay tuned and find out a little bit more. So I was tagged by Ryan from A Little Dirt Never Hurt for the 10 Reasons Why I Homestead tag. Lots and lots and lots of different people have all been doing this tag, and it was lovely to also be tagged in this. I think my reasons are probably not quite what people are really expecting from this. So I know when a lot of people ask me, hey, why do I do this outside of work? You know, people sometimes think it's for a emergency preparedness kind of deal. That's very big here in Utah. They have like conventions for it and all sorts. It's very much ingrained in the culture. But that's not why I do this. I actually do it because I love doing this. This is what I really am at the core of who I am. And the great thing about being a backyard homesteader or an urban homesteader, suburban homesteader, whatever you want to label it as, it means that I can do all of these things that I've wanted to do for a very long time without kind of, you know, worrying that this is my only source of income. So by that, I have a job, Monday to Friday, sometimes weekends, you know, that pays my mortgage, pays the bills, you know, all that kind of good stuff. But I'm able to, you know, have backyard chickens and bees and grow my own food and things out the back without really, you know, needing to worry as I would if I was a farmer. Like, am I going to be able to make the overhead this year? Am I going to have a successful harvest? How much am I going to lose from the grocery stores and wholesales and all that kind of stuff? And probably about 6 years ago, I actually drafted my resignation notice with the company that I work for, because I wanted to go back to college and learn to be an organic farmer. And then the more that I looked into it, the more that I kind of, you know, had some apprehension about, actually, is this going to be something that's going to be profitable, and is it going to be able to pay, you know, the rent, the mortgage, the bills and everything else. So being a backyard homesteader enables me to still have a job and keep working, provide for my family and things, and I'm still able to, you know, grow my own food and things. And one of the wonderful benefits of growing your own is that, you know, everything really does taste so much better. So, you know, whether it's like these sugar pumpkins that I'm growing, or whether it's like the beer that I brewed that I'm drinking, you know, everything tastes so much better because I know what I put into it, and I know what went into, you know, making these things grow and grow well. So that's my number one reason, just for the love of it. Reason number 2 why I homestead is to keep my inner mad scientist happy by experimenting. And by that I mean I love to experiment with different plants, different varieties, different ways of growing. So the trellis and things, if I just turn the camera, this is all new. I've never grown over this type of structure before, so that was kind of a really cool experience. Learning to care for different types of trees. Like, I never would have had a peach tree like this where I lived in England before, so this is all new to me. Also experimenting with making my own liquid fertilizers, making my own compost, trialing different methods of growing. So I always grow organic, it's just whether I'm going to be growing biodynamic is a bit different, or whether there's some aspects of other growing methods that I really enjoy. Like, I'll take some aspects of permaculture, like hugelkultur, and I'll incorporate them into some of the other organic beds that I'm growing. And then in some other cases I also grow things biodynamically. I like to follow some of the planting calendars, and I like to use some of the preparations that they use within that. So I really like to experiment within the garden. So that's my number 2 reason. It's getting a bit warm out there in the sun now, but my number 3 reason is just the sheer variety that I can grow is one of the reasons why I homestead. And not just with plants and things, although there is literally thousands of different varieties of things. There's also different breeds of chickens that I can have. There's different varieties of bees that I can have. You know, and if you're able to have goats on your property, there's different types of goats and things that you can have as well. There's lots of options available for urban and suburban and backyard homesteaders, you know, around the world for you know, being able to raise and grow your own food. I have really enjoyed being able to grow lots of different things here in Utah. So I'm growing melons for the first time. I've never grown melons before. Some squashes I've never grown before either. I was never able to get butternut squash to grow in England, but it grows really well here. Pumpkins are growing off like the clappers. Like I said, the peach tree, never had a peach tree before. But the wonderful thing about growing your own food is that you can try so many different things, and not all of them will work. You know, and you need to be well aware that not all of them are going to work, but some will work marvelously, and there are going to be things that you're going to keep going back to year after year. So I always tell myself I'm going to grow at least one new vegetable or variety of something that I've never grown before, just to see how it works out. I mean, I've got some blueberries that I was trialing, and you know, some of them are doing really well and some of them not so well. Same with the hops. Like my sterling hops is not growing well here at all, but some of the others are growing really well. So it's all about finding what's going to fit with your local environment, and when you find something that grows well, if it's not a hybrid variety, so they're usually F1 varieties within the name of the plant, you can save the seed from that and try and grow it the next year, and then each year that you're growing that particular plant, it's going to be getting more and more acclimatized to the environment that you're growing in, to the point where you've almost created a set of seeds that are going to be growing specifically for your garden, which is really cool for me. Being a scientist, I always think these things are super cool, and that's how a lot of plants are created. It's not all gene splicing and, you know, crazy scientists doing genetic experiments. A lot of it is good old-fashioned hand pollination breeding, and because of that we've got so many different varieties of plants that are available. I would just always recommend getting from a good reputable place. I grow a lot of heirloom vegetables here because I really like open pollinated varieties, and I quite like, you know, hearing about the history behind some of the plants that are growing. So that's why I grow a lot of heirloom varieties. But reason number 3, just the sheer variety that you're able to grow. Number 4, why I homestead, is to reduce my waste, reduce the amount of stuff that's going to landfill from my home, and to recycle as much as possible. So this is one of my composters that I'm leaning up against, and we fill it with pretty much everything that comes from our kitchen, from the chicken coop, even junk mail as well. So we're always trying to reduce our carbon footprint and reduce reliance on, you know, external sources of compost and everything else. So that's my number 4 reason for why I homestead. Right, reason number 5 for being a homesteader. Because fresh eggs daily doesn't get old. Come on, you. Come on, you're not laying, you're just broody. Come on, go out and have fun. Chickens have been a really interesting addition to our homestead. and we are completely novice first time chicken owners. But chickens have been really fun to watch. They've got some interesting quirks about them for sure. They've also not been without their problems. We did have a problem with cannibalism in our chickens, so we did have to cull one of the birds that was badly pecked pretty much to death, so that was quite tough. And also it's difficult to try and draw that line between, you know, this is a food, it's not a pet, especially when some of them are pretty fun, like Ginger that you saw at the very beginning. But overall, chickens have been really, really useful. We've had fresh eggs for definitely the last 4 or 5 months, which has been really, really good. I think next time we get another set of chickens though, we're going to be getting some that are a bit more productive on producing eggs, because some of our chickens take a couple of days to actually lay. So just for our needs, we want at least a couple, you know, 3 eggs a day at least. Reason number 6 for homesteading is to be a guardian of bees. And that wasn't really a pun that was intended there, but by having this hive has made sure that we've had way more crops than what we had last year in terms of pollination. Plus we also get honey, which we use to make mead and a few other things with. So that's reason number 6. In support of the bees and beekeeping, we also grow our own hops. It also supports our home brewing habit. But hops contain beta acids as well as the alpha acids. Now the alpha acids are important for home brewers because it's what helps add the bittering agent and helps preserve the beer. The beta acids actually help bees in controlling varroa mite and can help prevent colony collapse disorder.
So grow some hops.
Reason number 7 why we homestead is for good food. Oh, I like the salmon. Doesn't that look amazing? It smells amazing. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. Oh, so good. That's what's going to happen to you guys.
Smoked chicken.
Delicious. Another reason for homesteading is to basically try a hand at vintage skills. So this is our new blacksmithing forge that we just got a couple of days ago, and you know, we're wanting to have a go at blacksmithing right here in our backyard. Some other things that we do is leatherworking, crocheting, knitting, sewing, canning, and a few other things that are traditional skills that we want to make sure that, you know, we keep alive really. Plus with the blacksmithing is, I want to see my husband wielding a hammer and getting sweaty. 9 is really for educating people, so I honestly believe that anybody can do this. I think that there are definitely things that you can and can't do depending on the amount of land and things that you have, but I honestly believe that everybody can grow their own food in some capacity, whether it's in, you know, bags of compost or grow bags out the back of on their patio, or if you know you've got the space to have a big garden, or even if you're just growing some herbs on, you know, a windowsill. You know, everybody is able to you know, homestead even just a little bit. So I want to really educate and encourage other people that you guys can do this too. And honestly, like, you know, my garden ain't that pretty. I mean, there's lots of weeds and things in here, and this is all work in progress, but you know, I blog about this and I video these things to show you guys that, you know, this wasn't just done overnight. This has taken, you know, a lot of months to get going. But, you know, also to encourage you guys that, you know, if I can do it and I'm working, you know, 50+ hours a week, you guys can do this too. So that's my number 9 reason. My number 10 reason is to spend time with my family. So everything that we do in the garden, we've basically been doing as a family. So whether it was fixing all the weeds and putting in the pathways, you know, we've got friends and family together, and we've been able to do that. When all these tomatoes ripen, we're going to be having friends and family together to can them all. You know, we have people coming over, you know, all the time, and we're forever giving away our produce that we can't get through. So that's my number 10 reason, is to really spend time with friends and family. So as part of this tag, I need to tag a couple of other people. So I'm going to go ahead and tag the Backyard Homestead and My Little Urban Homestead, because I want to know a bit more about you guys and why you guys are also homesteading on small plots as well. So I think you guys are a great encouragement and inspiration to other people who are homesteading on small lots. So I'm tagging you guys as well. So until next time, I'm Emma from Misfit Gardening. That's a good tomato. See you next time. Bye bye. What are you doing, Ginger? Why are you on the top there? Papa. Oh, god damn it! I got chicken poop between my toes.